10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Drag racing fans, what is up? It is another episode of the Competition Plus Power Hour. We're going to be yakking it up about so much racing that's going on. Like, it's unbelievable how much stuff is going on, what we've got to talk about, what you guys have to say. But I am not the only one on this show. I've got my friend, the bearded guy, the Amish racing guy, whatever you want to call him, but the co-host of this show, my friend, my colleague, that is the Monday Morning Racer. Lee, how's it going tonight?
Man, I am stellar, but I also, though it's good to be on to talk about drag racing, I'm a bit mad tonight, Slammin' Sam.
Uh-oh.
I'm happy.
Here we go.
There's so much drag racing going on, but I'm also a bit mad, too. You know why?
Tell me.
Because my home national event is, well, stick a fork in it. It's done.
Done, baby. You're just gonna jump right into that? Like jump right into the negativity?
Look,
like
Stan,
can't even.
Stan, he typed in on YouTube before we even got going. A lot to talk about before the guest this week. Atlanta. He just went. He went there. Stan went there. Not
well,
me.
Fine. If you're gonna be mad, then I'm gonna be mad too. We might as well just be mad together.
All right, I'm mad.
They say Pomona is postponed, right? We talked about it last week. I mean, come on. Like, I get it. And it was said by Alan today, the voice of NHRA, hey, we're trying to do the right things. We're trying to be safe. We're trying to, show these tracks and these communities like, hey, we can do it safe. Just trust us and believe in us. I get it. But we can't keep having races postponed, canceled. I mean, I get it. So if you're going to be mad, I'm going to start mad too, because I'm still not over this postponed thing. But I mean, like I said, Lee, just so much to talk about. No more countdowns. I could be mad about that, but this is a happy show.
Look, at least it is postponed, but with Atlanta, it's done.
God.
It's done. And look, folks, if you want to stay up to date on what's happening in the world of drag racing, you have got to stay in tune with competitionplus.com. They have been pumping out article after article over all of the world of drag racing, but they have been on top of what's happening with Atlanta Dragway. And yeah, it sounds like from insider information that the sale is as good as done, and that we are looking at the 40th anniversary running of the Nationals. What a historic event is about to go off the radar completely. And the only ray of sunshine in it, in my opinion, is the possibility of some new markets that are going to be coming on board or have the potential of being introduced into NHRA championship drag racing. There's rumors out there of a Southern Georgia track, of somewhere around the Miami market. Even Mississippi. Mississippi hasn't had any love in major professional sports in a long time in anything. It would be interesting to have that market open back up, really be the first time since the Cajun Nationals went away. So if Atlanta does go, I do hope we see something added that can create brand new storylines in NHRA professional drag racing for sure.
Dude, Atlanta's been around longer than I've been born. Like, their first race marks back to 1981, I want to say. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
The first Southern Nationals, least, is 1981, yes.
So, like, I mean, I'm 30. Still old, but still 30. I mean, so it's given its time. It's paid its dues, but it just sucks, right? We never want to see less racing across the board. I don't care what it is. And that, with that, I hate to lead into this, but Lee, how many, like this week alone, there's so many big races going on. You're going down to Texas for one, and I'm getting the opportunity to absolutely destroy your show on Thursday night. I'm just joking, but I'm just saying, you're going down to Funny Car Chaos. That's happening this week. Then the spring fling in Vegas is happening right now. I mean, Jason Line and Bo Butner had a race last week. I mean, a lot of big money racing, fun atmosphere. I mean, where do we really continue from talking about this horrible negative energy that's brought across racing and, drug us all down? I mean, last week we're on highs of highs, and now everybody's kind of like, yeah, hey, man. I've got some friends in Canada listening. I mean, if that's positive. So shout out to all my Canadian friends.
Hey, that is positive. And there are positives in drag racing. I was just thinking about it before we came on the show, Sam. We live in a day and time where racing never really stops. I can remember as a kid, there used to be an actual off season, and it's really not existent anymore. There is racing all the year round. Racing just migrates to Florida. That's what happens. And all the racing is in Florida until it warms up and the rest of the country gets going. But what a time we live in that racing happens all the time. And man, from World Door Slammer Nationals to Gator Nationals to this past weekend, you had Southeast Gasser Association. They kicked off their season. You had the NMCA. They were in competition. And
you're not just going to blow by that. You're not just going to blow by that. Well, technically you can. If you're going to talk about that 358, my done.
Well, 358, but I think the story involving the MCA is Todd Tutterow wasn't at the World Door Slammer Nationals. Todd Tutterow was at the Gators, but Todd Tutterow has spent a lot of time in Florida. So does he just really Florida and these others? Is he not doing NHRA drag racing whatsoever? What is going on with King Tut in the world of Pro Mod and his NHRA participation?
He's staying silent but deadly. I mean, I think that's what it is, or maybe he's going to run a half of the year. I don't know. I'm not going to back myself into a corner like I've done before and say something and, then I get hollied here later. I'm not going to do that. My assumption is we'll see him later in the year. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe Mark John's got some information on that he can spill the beans on, but that's all I'm going to say.
Right. Hey, Mark could. He definitely could have some information on that. They had a great show earlier today, and they're always having great guests on Caruso Family Racing there on Tuesday night. So check them out, folks, when you get a chance before we air here on Competition Plus Power Hour. By the way, Sam, Power Hour can be found elsewhere. Where?
They can be found on all the major podcast platforms. So if you missed any of the show, you want to go back and watch it or anything like that, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, wherever you want to go and listen to it. And that is Competition Plus Power Hour. Just listen to it. If you guys got any comments, concerns, or anything that you want us to talk about, any guests that you think should be on this show, or anything for the Pit Insider, random questions for Lee and I, you can always email us at powerhourcp@gmail.com. And you can always click on that YouTube and go over there and listen to whatever we're yakking it up about. And you can go and look up whatever Lee and I are doing personally. I am Outlaw Performance ENT Slam and Sam. And Lee, who are you on YouTube?
That would be simply Monday Morning Racer, and it's that across the board. I made it simple for everybody.
Yeah, great there. So, did you see the new sneak peek of Mr. Carl Stevens, yet another Camaro in Pro Mod?
Oh, boy. Wow. Talking about open up a can of worms. Yet another Camaro. Yet another Camaro. At least it's not a modern Camaro. And it is a older Camaro. Look, let me say this. If anybody is going to do any more Camaros, would someone come out with like a mid-'80s Camaro or more fish fish-nosed Camaros, and let's spice up Camaros in Pro Mod at least. Somebody.
No, we need more Mustangs. Thank you, Alex Laughlin. Thank you, Elite HP, the whole Elite, everything that falls under the Elite name. Thank you for putting a Mustang out there, because that damn thing is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Look, I like the Mustangs. I like the Mustangs. I'm a Ford guy. Let me say this, though, Sam. Look, why stop with more Mustangs? Because that's just, there's plenty of Mustangs in the no prep world. Fox bodies everywhere.
Thank you, Courtney. Put Courtney's comment up there. Team Elite. I agree.
Hey,
put it up there.
This is what we need. We need more Studebakers. We need more Chargers. We need more. Hey, someone throw a Nash in there. I want a Lamborghini to come back to Pro Mod, for goodness sakes. I mean,
speaking about Lamborghinis, did you see that video that I posted of a guy? We're going to talk about Pluchino on here tonight. He had a Lamborghini panty wagon at the Door Slammer Nationals. If you guys go back, I posted a funny TikTok video about it, and I think it's hilarious. So, I mean, I get you. There's a lot of different cars that we can see. But I'm just saying, if you are blind to the fact that Alex Laughlin, sexy Pro Mod, if you don't think that thing is sexy, I'm starting to wonder if you really are going blind underneath those glasses.
It is a beautiful car. Do not misunderstand me. But I still want to see more diversity in the class. Look, I can remember going to Super Chevy show at Atlanta Dragway. And back in the day, and you would see Shoebox Pro Mods, and you would see Willis Pro Mods, you would see the Studebaker Pro Mod, and I guess what happens in the industry, and maybe one day we can have a car builder come on and explain this to us, but I guess they develop the bodies and the molds and things of that nature, and they're just that easy to get. And if you go out there and you're like, oh, hey, I want a 63 something, or a 59 Cadillac Pro Mod, as Bob just mentioned, it would take so much money to develop the very mold in the first place that it's not cost effective. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know anymore.
You know what? We need to ask the people that are listening. What do you guys want to see? Bob said something. I agree. We want to see what car, because it doesn't matter to us. We can sit here and argue and go back and forth. It doesn't matter to us. We're going to go to the races no matter what, because that's what we love to do. We like it. And it's not really, the fans, they have a say unless they're going to pay for it. But there's probably some people out there that can pay for them. So who knows?
Right. Somebody be original. Stop it. Drag racers are some of the worst about monkey see, monkey do. My goodness. Somebody be original, be different, and get out there and race it.
That's racing, period. One guy's shock package works best. Everybody's going to run that. If hey, this clutch is running the best, oh shit, I'm running that clutch too. Because hey, they won, just like I don't have a spoon, like I said, to stir the pot again, but everybody's running Pro Chargers. And what did we see Monday morning from pictures from someone's, account? I'm just saying, it's monkey see, monkey do. But speaking of that, and we're talking sponsorships and everything, and since I'm talking about Alex, did you see that super slick in and out logo theme that he came out with the suit that looks like actually an employee working there? Did you see that by chance? Now, if you want to talk about,
I love the.
If you want to talk about,
that was cool.
Yes, badass. But if you want to talk about somebody that's pushing the buttons to bring new ideas into the sport, man, I encourage everyone over here, and I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm just a huge fan of his, and I like what he's doing. You guys need to go over and click like and follow what Alex Laughlin is doing, because you want to talk about evolving the sport and people that can do that, just like someone that's going to be on today. Our two guests today do that too. They bring new people to it. But I'm just saying, if you guys aren't doing this already, do Lee and I a favor. Go and follow these people and like, what they're posting. And everybody that comes on here, like these racers stuff. That's what we're here for, is to tell their stories and promote them in a different light that, gives a different view. It's laid back here on Competition Plus. You got two guys yakking it up about our thoughts. And our opinions of the sport that we love. So go and do that. Like I said, we can keep yakking it up. So what's next?
Well, we got to get Jeff Arend on. We do got to get Jeff Arend on. But you talk about evolving the sport, and in particular with Alex Laughlin, I just want to say this, man. I have evolved the shade game of the professional classes of drag racing. A lot more guys are out there wearing these shades, and I started it. Just saying.
You got that from Patrick Mahomes, but he's a football player, so
I'll
give you that one. Hey, pull up that comment by what Courtney Enders is saying. That is a great comment because Richard Freeman does not get enough props for what he does. He is very on top of it, and always looking for new ideas to do something. And speaking of that, and since we're on this sponsorship thing, Jeff, I'm sorry, we will bring you on soon, but did anyone else not notice, or does anyone have any beans for me on why we have not seen the Summit logo on Greg Anderson's car? You got anything for me, Lee? I'm searching. I'm looking.
I do not recall any press release. I don't recall a notice out there that was not going to be a partnership. I do look back, and I can remember Summit being at the starting line with 3 banners at the Gator Nationals, and that's about all I can remember of Summit honestly being involved compared to Jags. Have we lost a sponsor rivalry and it died, well, a silent death between Jags and Summit? Has that happened?
Who knows? That's why I'm asking you the question. I haven't seen it. It sucks, but you do see a lot of Jags everywhere you go. So, I don't know. Who knows? But moving on here, this is amazing. Justin Ashley is in the comments talking about you getting on this Nitro. And then now Mike is in the comments saying, hey, Norwalk.
All right, let's bring it up. And then we got to bring Jeff on. Justin Ashley, what's up? When is Lee getting on a Nitro Harley? That's why I am here. Mike Ashley, he says, Lee, come on. I want to see you on a Nitro Harley. Let's do it at Norwalk Night of Fire. Mike, if you're writing the check, and I know you said you would, let's work it out. The class apparently needs your money now more than ever. Let's figure this out. I will hop on a Nitro Harley. I will.
That might be the saving grace of this class.
It could be.
In the comments, if you guys think that Lee needs to get on a Nitro Harley, please put a yes. A Y for yes and an N for no. We need to fill these comments up with what you guys think. We want. Oh, boom. The Queen of Media already said it. Yes. Boom. We're done here. We're done.
I'm going to bring it up. Now, Courtney says yes. I think it does need to happen, and it's really the only class that works for me. I can use all this body weight to my advantage, and it's like the only one that works. Maybe funny car.
I haven't seen a no yet. There's no.
There we go.
So, Mike Ashley, woo! I'm bringing the camera and some ice because
bring the camera.
My cheeks.
Somebody have the ambulance about halfway. You don't need to be on the top end. Have it about halfway. That's where it needs to be. Look, let's get Jeff on before he dies laughter over there somewhere in California. Break right now.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
The dog takes off.
Jeff,
the jeweler.
Hey, what's up?
Doing great, man. Look, give us the juicy inside information.
Well, first of all, I got $50 I'm going to put for sponsorship for you to ride that Top Fuel Harley deal.
There we go. There we go.
Sponsor.
I'm also going to get the rights to And They Walked Away 10. So I'm going to take that as a patent. I want that. I'll make a little extra dough on that one. I'll recoup my 50 really fast, I'm sure.
Yep. Yep. Hey, I might be able to
man.
break that new record that was set on knocking out all the foam blocks at Gators. I might be able to break that.
That was pretty
Oh.
impressive. I think I didn't break his foot either, like me, so it's all good.
Yeah. Jeff, that info.
All right, so a few things, kind of sad to report. I mean, I know we lost a lot more people this week than I was aware of just until recently, but you know, a few of them kind of stood out back from my days when I first started racing, and one of them was Tommy Johnson Sr. I mean, super nice guy. I met him in the mid-'90s when I started racing with Paul Smith, and hey, always a nice guy, always did well. You know, his kid was racing the Mopar car, I think, back then, and I know they had a few races in a row where they end up qualifying, and back then there was kind of the Paul Smith rule, and they would come over and we would basically sell our top fuel spot to them so they could run. So after the second one, I just said to Senior, you might as well just park your truck and trailer right next to us. You can just hand us a check out the window, and he always got a big laugh out of that. I mean, he was a real good guy. He always supported me. He would say, you know, you're my second favorite funny car driver. But when I raced TJ, he said he couldn't root for me. So definitely one of those guys that did a lot for the sport, brought his son up. Tommy Johnson Jr. is a great guy. My heart breaks for him. And I'll definitely have a Coors Light for Senior later on, as you know I will. The other one was William Bill McKnight. Kind of more in the background. If you weren't really into racing or didn't have a race car, you wouldn't know him as well. He was kind of the sponsor liaison, I guess, or the tech guy for Clevite Bearings and then Mall Industries. Always just a super nice guy. I don't think I ever met anybody as nice as Bill. He was always in a good mood, smiling, having a good time. You know, he supported the smaller teams. He came to me one time when I was driving Russo's car and said, hey, I'd like to give you guys some bearings. I got some, you know, extra stuff left over in my deal that I can give away. So he didn't have to do that. And he was really for the up and comer or independent teams trying to help him out. You know, he was enjoying life. He just retired a couple of years ago. If you were a friend with him on Facebook, you could see he was taking pictures of birds nonstop. I mean, he was a real avid bird watcher, I guess. And, you know, I didn't know what he had died from. I didn't know if he was sick or anything, but I guess he had some kind of a rare disease called IPF, which basically your lungs all harden up and everything on you, and there's really nothing they can do. You just have a limited amount of time after that. So may he rest in peace. He was really one of the good guys, and I think all the racers are really going to miss him. He was a real super nice guy and very smart when it came to what he was selling. You know, moving on from that, which is sad, we got Atlanta. You know, it just got sold. You know, NHRA finally said they're selling it. This is going to be the last race you're going to have there. I've been to Atlanta many times, and actually it's not the track you would think that you would have your career best ET and speed at. And for me, that's what it was. I mean, back when I raced for Dell back in 07, I think we went like 471, 327 there. And it was a pretty stout run back in the day. I think it qualified us pretty high up there. But, you know, Atlanta on Friday night, that was a track where you could really throw down if the conditions were right. You know, during the day, you weren't seeing those big numbers come up. But, you know, I hope NHRA comes up with something else or some other tracks in the area like Richmond or something step up. And we get to see an event there because the fans in Atlanta are always great. Good people there. It was a nice facility. Sad to see it go. I mean, kind of like Route 66, that one's not going to be around anymore either. So I need to get some more tracks coming out, or maybe they need to take some races away. I don't know, but still sad to see tracks go by the wayside. What else we got going on this weekend? You know, Funny Car Chaos. It's going to be craziness. I mean, there's like 70 cars there now, I think. I talked to Dell the other day. I think he hopped in his dually and his 40-foot fifth wheel, and he's towing that thing out there with his guys. So that's going to be fun to watch him compete. And if it's anything like when I raced, you know, in nostalgia or whatever, all the other guys be taking a shot at him. So he's going to have an advantage with a good car. But, you know, this car hasn't been out in a while, and anything can happen with Nitro. I kind of wish I was going there. I kind of had plans to go for a little while, but then Tony Gerardo wants to end up finishing his license off, and he's trying to give that a go this weekend in Bakersfield. So I kind of committed to him that I'd go help him. And that's going to be fun. I enjoy going to the tracks with people, seeing new drivers, trying to get them licensed. And like anybody will tell you, and he'll tell you after, the difference between the nostalgia funny car and the big show car, you know, if they're running good, is just night and day. And it's always fun to see them come back from that first half track run or whatever, and their eyes are wide open. They're like, oh, I see what you mean, Jeff. That was awesome. So it's going to be a fun weekend. And I know you guys are going to have fun at Funny Car Chaos. And if I can watch any live stream stuff, I'll be watching it.
All right. Well, Jeff, look, thank you for the word of condolences there and bringing us up to speed on some lost members in the world of drag racing. And lost track, but definitely we got a lot to look forward there. Funny Car Chaos.
For sure.
For sure. Well, Jeff, look, we're going to let you go. And we're going to keep rolling on. We're going to bring Johnny Pluchino on here in just a few moments. Jeff, thank you, man.
All right, guys. Have a great show.
Again, Jeff.
All right. Good seeing you too, Sam.
Sam, man, chaos, like really true chaos is coming to the Texas Motorplex this weekend.
Chaos, extravaganza, party in the pit, barbecue, everything you could want. Music with the drag race. I mean, I'm not even going. I'm mad. See, I'm mad. I ain't gonna be there. So you better eat some brisket and some real. I know you're going. You can tell everybody you're going.
I'm going. That's right.
I know. That's why I get to ruin your show Thursday night.
That's right. That's right. Yes, you will be co-hosting. Well, you won't be co-hosting. You'll be the guest host of my show Between the Slicks Thursday night. Shane. Oh boy, man, his last name gets me every time. Shane Ballermule, I believe it is. That top alcohol funny car guy who has been on a roll
for that show.
Yeah, we're going to stick with Shane. Stick with Shane. He's going to be on. You're going to be questioning him. Yes, man. Look, Funny Car Chaos in the chat. Are you going to be at Funny Car Chaos? Or if you're not, don't you wish you were going to be at Funny Car Chaos? What an epic event they got that's coming up this weekend. 69 funny cars, 18 fuel alters, like, you know, the South, not the Southeast gassers, excuse me, but the Dirty South gassers are going to be there. There's old school back half that's going to be racing. It's going to be, well, chaos.
Chaos. No, I mean, it really is. And like you're saying right there, I have a question for you, Lee. And I know you and I have talked about this before, but we're going to kind of stir the pot a little bit. All these big races that are going on side. Like I said, the door slammers happen, the Spring Fling, lots of money there to be raised for your sportsman racers. Again, for your sportsman racers, you had the Southern Sportsman Showdown. A lot you hear in these chats and you see people talking, well, this is taken away from all the NHRA racing. This is taken away from, this or that. And I personally, Funny Car Chaos, I don't think these smaller races, even though these aren't small races, but I don't think they're taken away from what the NHRA is doing, what the end goal is. You start playing sports at a young age and you work your way up. Yeah, there's some different things, but these other events are not taken away from what the top of the mountain is, right? Is everyone wants to go NHRA racing. No doubt. I mean, you can talk to any team. That's their goal. But winning a few extra bucks here or winning a few extra bucks here does not take away from that.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's just the stuff that I'm seeing, you're seeing it too, or what are your opinions on it?
If you are so team NHRA that you think all these other events are detrimental, I don't have much time for you. Just get away. Just get away. I don't have much time for you at all. If anything, I think the NHRA could learn a few things from these events. Granted, it seems like I say it every week. The sport of drag racing rises and it falls with the performance of the NHRA. Look, the NHRA having a stellar Gator Nationals broadcast, that's good for all of drag racing.
2 million people watched it.
2 million.
Over 2 million watched it.
Average 1.75 million, okay? Look, here's why that's important.
Even if 1 million people watch that, even if 1 million people, that's 1 million eyes. You can't be mad at that.
Yeah. No, you can't. You can't be mad at that. And here's why it's important, though, for a trickle-down effect into other forms of drag racing. That gives other platforms the ability to go to like a Flow Racing, which will be airing Funny Car Chaos this season, and say, hey, we're drag racing. They got that. We can get you this on your platform. You may not have NHRA, but you can have us. and the totality of the sport is brought up a bit. No, these events are in no way hurting the sport. They are helping the sport. Honestly, I would say the NHRA probably got a little bit lethargic, and it needs to be shaken up a bit, and it needs to step forward. It needs to say, hey, look what they're doing over here. Why can't the NHRA do a big money race? No one's been racing for big money there for a long time.
That's where my idea of the All-Star Week comes from. That could just be a huge money, shake it up, throw it in the bag. And like Courtney Ender said, and Courtney, I mean, we can't agree much more than what she's saying, is that this does not take away from the big picture. It just adds to it. The more people see racing, that gets another kid saying, hey, mom, dad, I want a car. Well, guess what? If mom and dad buy that little girl or that little boy a car, guess what? Now he can go to school and say, hey, my parents bought me a car and I'm going to go drag racing. And they're like, well, I want to go drag racing if you're doing it.
Right.
And it continues to grow. It gets that car that's in the shop for 10 years. It gets them back out. It gets people working on things. And for, like you said, I'm not going to say it as bold as you because I'm trying to be nice, you know, but I'm just saying, Slam and Sam's being nice for once. But, you know, you got to have these races. It gives people other options to go and see things. You know, people don't agree with the four wides, but guess what? Some people do. It's choice and it's opinion and it's what we love. All right, I'm done stirring the pot.
I'll say this. I think these storylines from a World Door Slammer Nationals into a Gators, they're better stories than nitro testing to the Gators. I'll put it that way.
Well, Skip.
Lee. Yeah.
Lee.
There we go.
Lee.
There we go. Hey, you think it's time to put Johnny Pluchino on the hot seat?
He's gonna stir the pot. Is it Pluchino or Pistachio? Which one?
Break right now.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
The champ is here.
That too. The champ is here. I hope you heard
What's
that.
What's up, guys? No, I missed it. What happened?
I said, is it Pluchino or is it Pistachio?
Oh, that part I heard.
Just giving you crap,
just ignored
man.
it.
Just giving you crap.
Just ignored it.
See, you know, he's rose above those things because he is the 2020 Extreme Pro Stock PDRA champion. And mind you, the one race he shows up for at NHRA, well, he said all he needed to say.
Very true. I can't knock you there. The stats don't lie. So what's up, man? What's going on? We saw you at the World Door Slammer Nationals. You're tuning the car, the Lamborghini Panty Wagon.
Yeah. Just went down there, got out of New York for a little bit, got some warmer weather, and we came hung out. First time I've been to that race, so it was a good time.
So you being an outsider looking into that race, you didn't come there to race. You were actually tuning on a car. What did you think of that race? I mean, I know we've talked about it, but what was your personal, when you leave there, what did you think?
Yeah, it was great. I think it would have been an awesome event had it not been for Saturday's weather. But I like the format. It's something different. I like the fact that they get to draw chips, go after somebody first round in a little bit different fashion. It gave guys like the Quadros a chance to get their stuff together on Sunday before they got to some of the more difficult cars later in the rounds. And it gave them a chance to go out and get a trophy and a big check at the end of the day. So it's just a different event. It's nice to do things a little different sometimes, and I had a good time.
So, Johnny, what is it like for you at the track when you have the headset around the ears instead of the helmet covering up the face? What type of person are you? You seem to be a very cool, calm, collected dude when you're in the car. You're on go, you're ready. But the tuner, I noticed was a little bit more high strung, I thought. So explain to me the difference between driving and tuning for you.
Well, I'm kind of high strung anyway, but I collect myself. I feel like fairly well when I drive the car. I mean, when I'm there, I'm competitive. If I'm working with somebody or I'm racing for myself, I want to win no matter what. So I'm an extremely competitive person. I don't think anybody's more competitive than me out there. So I guess really what you saw there was us going through a little bit of struggles during the race weekend, and I was just trying to get our stuff together. And you know, I'm competitive. I want to win no matter when I'm at the racetrack. I'm there to win. So yeah, there's both aspects there. Look, I did this aspect of it. I did the headset aspect for a long time before I jumped in the car. My dad drove the car for a while, and I was on the other side of the fence, and I kind of did that first. So yeah, I enjoy both, but I want to be inside the thing at the end of the day.
So your championship list goes on and on. Like, I mean, you know, for the last couple of years, it's fairly good. So what is this off season for the champ? How has this off season been for you?
We kind of just cleaned things and got ready for next year. Hopefully that wasn't the wrong decision. We didn't work too hard on things. I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. We got really good horsepower from John Kazi Racing Engines, and we feel confident in what we were doing last year. I think we were getting better as the year went on. We were really fast at the last race of the year, kind of started to change some stuff up. We were in race mode all year long, and when it came to the last race of the year, we kind of had the championship sewed up. We went out there and we tried a couple of different things, and we liked what we saw. So we're going to head into this year with that, and I'm excited, man. I mean, we didn't change all that much. We got a lot of really good companies and good people working with us, so we're going to keep marching forward. We're more confident than ever, and hopefully we go out there in a couple of weeks and we start the season off kind of where we were last year and kind of build from it. So we're not complacent. I'm more hungry now than I've ever been to win. So it's time to do it.
Hey, any off season has got to be better than the off season that y'all had before the 2020 season with the catastrophe you had happen in the dyno room. But that propelled you, along with the partnership from strutmasters.com, to a 2020 championship in the PDRA. I know I've talked to you a lot about that. I was able to witness, I think, every race that you were participating in last year with the PDRA. What do you think your chances are? We're going into, well, of all places, Galat, to, well, defend your 2020 championship and be the 2021 champion in PDRA Extreme Pro Stock?
Well, we're the ones to beat, right? So it's easier said than done, but our chances I think are as great as anybody's. So we feel confident in what we do because of the people that are behind us, because of John Kazi Racing Engines, Strutmasters, Ram Clutches, everybody that stands behind us and helps us out. You know, we have a ton of confidence in them, a ton of confidence in our equipment and what my dad's put together, our crew guys, my driving. We feel confident in everything. Again, we understand how difficult everybody out there is and how much they want to win as well. And they're sitting home right now thinking they're going to win the championship, but we're going into this year thinking we are the ones to beat. We have the number one in the window. So why look at it any different way?
So right now, with everything that's going on, what's a normal day like for you?
Well, unfortunately, I work in the insurance world. I'm not full-time in the drag racing world. So I have a regular job, 9 to 5 or so. But man, my mind goes and thinks about the next racing event or what I got to get done for the car next or whatever the case is all day long. It's just, you know, I work in the insurance world again. I work in the auto side of it. I live on Long Island, New York. It's a little bit different here right now because of how things are with COVID. But again, at the end of the day, I want to describe myself as a drag racer. That's who I am. That's what I identify as. So pretty much everything I do kind of pushes me that way. My motivation comes from that. And I really enjoy doing it together with my dad and my crew guys. It's a family thing. And it drives me, and I think everybody should have something that I have like this that drives them and pushes them forward every day, because it's been pretty essential in my life.
All right, the PDRA schedule has, absent from it this year, I would say, infamous drag strip for your career, Darlington. So were you happy not to see Darlington on the list, or what were your thoughts, and explain why Darlington is such a challenge for Mr. Pluchino?
I hate that place, man. Nothing against the Miller family, but man, I absolutely hate that place. Listen, they have this goofy, hokey pokey timing system over there where Martin's got it, Dragway 42's got it. It makes all the guys who can't let the clutch out on time, they now all of a sudden can, and all the guys who are usually up on the tree, they're going red. So we don't have delay boxes in our deal. No matter what happens, I go there every year. We slow the linkage down, and I just can't stay green throughout eliminations, and I will not miss that place unless they get a new timing system. If they get a new timing system, I'll put Darlington sticker on the car. But until then, man, I am not a supporter.
Hey, you can go no prep from the back of the track, though. You can do that, Johnny. Go do that with the mountain motor. That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Did we lose him?
No, we
Are you
got
there?
Johnny.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got him.
Oh,
We got him.
I didn't hear his last answer. So I've got a question for you. And when you're looking at all of this, and you guys are one of the smaller teams out there, and you guys are, I don't know if I can, I'm going to say you guys are kicking people's ass, taking names, and you're doing this. How do we, as media people, other than telling your story, like I know the limo guy does a great job of it with the real pro stock. He's in you guys' face and showing who you guys really are. But we as media, what can we do to help you guys, reach out there and get more sponsorships and tell you guys a story other than things like what we're doing at the track and shows like this?
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess just the more you show it, the more live streams you do, the more you get into drivers' faces and pits and you actually talk to them, I guess the more people will be invested, and that's what we need. We need people to be invested because they need somebody to root for. If you go to a game and you don't know the two teams that are playing, you're probably not going to care as much. You're probably not going to, if you leave the game early, you're probably not going to tune in and see who won. But if you're invested in one side or the other, you're gonna pay attention. So that's what we need. We need the media or whoever it is to go out there and kind of just shine a light on the drivers, shine a light on everyone who is involved in the sport. It could be crew, it could be anybody, team owner. But once you get involved and you understand who these people are and you decide to pick a side, that's gonna make you ride with that person. That's gonna make you tune in. And I think that's what sometimes we miss in this sport, and that's what's going to bring us to the next level.
All right, man. You're in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, also known as Extreme Pro Stock there on the PDRA side. I can remember the first time I encountered Mountain Motor Pro Stock at what was Red River Raceway out there in Louisiana, and my dad introduces it to me. I was used to 500 cubic inch Pro Stock, and I'm like, wow, that is a mountain of a motor. No wonder they call these things mountain motors. So break down for us, for viewers that may not be familiar or will see this later on, what makes Mountain Motor Pro Stock so different from their 500 cubic inch cousins in NHRA beyond them just being better? Mountain Motor.
So it's 500 cubic inch Pro Stock on steroids. 500 inch Pro Stock is the most efficient thing out there in the drag racing world. So I don't want to take anything away from it, but it's 500 inch on steroids. It's a cross between 500 inch Pro Stock and Pro Mod. We still have to do everything that those drivers have to do in the car. We still have a 5-speed. We have to shift it ourselves. It's closed drag racing. It's naturally aspirated. We still have the hood scoops on, thank God. But it's a tough form of racing. But listen, our cars don't drop the front end when you put it in two. Our cars will keep lifting the front end up when you put it in two. So it's a little bit more extreme. It's a little bit different. I've known a couple 500 inch drivers that have got in one of them things and put it in two, thought the front end was going to drop and they could steer it back, and that wasn't the way it happened. So it's an exciting deal. some of those drivers who are still out there right now have gotten in the car and, you know, they thought it was shaking, and it wasn't shaking, just because that's how much more aggressive these things are. So you've got to put your big boy pants on when you get in.
They're in the pot, and I like it. So as you saw, Courtney Enders said harsh there. You guys, you know, we kind of set you guys up there at the World Door Slammers with a kind of a not invited question there that we asked. So, you know, I know you're down with the fun. So what is that like, you know, not getting the invite from, not getting the cut from your own friend, you know, not calling you.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, dude, you know, you can come as a tuner, but we don't want you as a driver.
I had to find
how did that feel?
It was tough, man. I had to find a crew chief job last minute. You know, I had my plane ticket booked because I thought I was going to be there racing the car, but I had to find a crew chief gig last minute just so I could make it in, not waste a plane ticket, you know. So, listen, hopefully next year we're down there. It's a great event. And I'd like to be down there in some good air, great track prep in front of some good fans. And we'll see how they like mountain motor racing after those 500-inch cars run.
I just want it where the winner of mountain motor has to run off against the winner of 500. I want to see that, and there be the king or queen of pro stock. I mean, let me remember there is that possibility.
Right.
Courtney is in here. I got to remember that. So,
Right.
Johnny, speaking of mountain motor, though, look, I love mountain motor. Mountain motor in IHRA, that was bread and butter. NHRA, you know, kind of turned its nose up to it for years, and now they try to embrace it, even though y'all get a baby Wally when you win. And mountain motor, though,
can you say that one more time, please?
Baby mountain motor, you know, for Wally. But when y'all win there, so right now, though, the class seems to be having some challenges because there's this Mountain Motor Pro Stock Association and y'all get together, and I don't know if y'all have lodge meetings or what happens, but like there's like an ADRL event happening. There is a PDRA event happening. There's another event happening somewhere. Like there's 3 places where Mountain Motor can go. What are y'all going to do?
I don't know. Listen, I'm going to go race as many events as I could race, and we're going to beat whatever car comes to the racetrack. That's our plan, right? So, whoever shows up, shows up. There's 3 organizations that all 3 have their perks. We've been pretty true to the PDRA. They've been there for us for the last few years. So, you know, we have their support. Again, that's a championship series that we're able to run for, and we want to run for a championship. That's our goal. It's a lot of really good racers that we race against. So at the end of the day, we want to carry number 1 the next year. The NHRA has its perks as well, and the ADRL is putting on a great pay structure, and they're able to pack the stands. So it's nice to have multiple organizations that want you to present your class at their race. But again, when you have a limited amount of cars, you don't want to necessarily separate them because you want to put the best show on possible for the fans and for your product. So it's going to be a difficult deal. We're going to do as much racing as we can. Again, we're a small team. We can only do as much as we're able to do. Again, we have work on Monday, so things are a little different for us than it is for some, you know, 500-inch racers and professionals. But look, we're there. At the end of the day, whatever races we go to, we're going to give it 110% to hold the trophy at the end of the day. And no matter if there's 8 cars, 12 cars, 16 cars, they're all within a couple hundredths of each other. They're all really fast, exciting race cars, and we make for some good racing. So we're excited.
I don't even think he saw that. He just blew that comment off that EE would whoop up on you. So I think you don't get an invite next year. You should bring the car down, throw out a little grudge race. You know, hey.
Ooh.
I'll give them 3 tenths. I'll spot them 3 tenths.
Yeah. Look, like John says, you know, you got to bracket things. You do. That's right. That's true. But nonetheless, I want to see. But I don't think it's ever happened 500 versus mountain motor in any shape, form, or fashion. Not that I know of. So I want to see it.
Yeah, we'll spot them 3 tenths. It'll be a nice show. You know, we'll drag them down.
Pull up that comment. New comment up there, right there. Boom. Somebody get a track. We're putting these 2 on the track.
There we go.
We'll give them. Hey. two passes, shakedown passes, and then boom, here we go. Like,
hey, Competition Plus Power Hour, setting it up again.
Do we have to
Richard?
wait? Do we have to wait for next year? I mean, we're going to be in an NHRA race at the same time this
Johnny's
year.
like, let's get this done. Let's get this done.
Sooner.
Westbuck, Bobby Bennett, Richard Freeman, let's go.
Yeah,
right here.
I've been begging to run one of them things down. So,
man, this show. Oh man, this we're setting up races. Lee's getting on a Harley. I mean,
hey,
it's happening.
Maybe we can do it at Norwalk Night of Fire. Maybe we can set that up.
Hey, it's happening. I guess it's happening. Anybody? Any other call outs you got here, Johnny? I mean, the floor is yours.
Yeah, floor is yours.
I think if we take if it's an elite car we race, I think if we take it out, I think they give us a seat for one of the NHRA races. I think that's what happens.
Ooh,
I think
stakes,
that's the best.
Stakes on the line. Ooh.
Wow.
What do you think?
I do like that. We need to hear from Richard, though. Richard, call us. Let us know what's on the other side. All right.
They have enough of those rides over there. They could wheel one out.
There you go.
Man, hey, I love what we're doing here at Competition Plus Power Hour. We're setting up the whole world of drag racing for the future. In the future, though, PDRA, definitely you're going to be knocking the win lights on there, Johnny. Who do you think this year is going to be your toughest competition in Extreme Pro Stock? You know, I would say my money would be on for your toughest competition. It would be Carr, but there's other names like Powers and Montecavo. So who you think is going to be the toughest one out there against you this year?
Man, I mean, that JR Carr group was a really tough competitor last year. I have a ton of respect for those guys. I have a ton of respect for a lot of people that we race against, but that group they pushed us last year. We went out there and we thought we had our ducks in a row, and we won the first race, and we came out to the second race and they kind of put a whooping on everybody. When you win a race, it's one thing, but when you win a race in the fashion they did that second race, putting 400 or 500s on a session on everybody else in the 8th mile, you kind of reevaluate, and that made Dad and I go out and really work a little bit harder to get our stuff together, and we went testing, and kind of was the turning point in our season. So I would say he's the toughest guy out there. There's a lot of other tough guys as well. I know Chris Powers has sold a couple of his organs to buy motors and cars and this and that because he wants to wear that number 1 as well, and he's somebody who's driven to win this championship. So he's a tough competitor. There's a lot of people out there who are really tough. Elijah Morton, John Montecavo is a multi-time champion. Again, everyone who comes out there, they have the same stuff that we have. They have really good crew chiefs and they're experienced drivers. I mean, there were some of these guys that I was learning how to walk, and these guys were driving these race cars. So for me to be able to just race against them is an honor. And again, but we're a confident group. We have a lot of confidence in what we do, and we're holding that number 1 for a reason. And we're here, and just want to thank strutmasters.com for being on board with us. I mean, I probably wouldn't be holding this number 1 right now if it wasn't for them and all the people that help us. Every part on our car, it's just really gotten us to the next level, and it's a huge team deal. And I'm really honored to be where I'm at.
I hear you, man. Hey, for me too, strutmasters.com, Chip Lofton in particular. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now here with you.
Yeah, 100%, man. What a great friend and just person right now. It's just, again, you mentioned it earlier. We were pushing to try and get to the next level last year, trying some stuff on the dyno. We had some failures, and without people like that who have your back in tough times, it's hard to do what we were able to do. And I don't think we'd be sitting here having this conversation right now if it wasn't for people like that.
So when you look at your career and everything like that, who would you say, one, you idolize, and who you, I guess, trying to live your career like, and two, what do you want to leave as a legacy when you say, you know what, hey, I'm stepping away, I'm leaving, I'm done, I think I've done enough? What are those two things for you?
Man, Sam, you aging the man already? Come on.
No, but I'm just saying, he's not getting.
Those are good questions. Those are good questions. I look, anytime you ask me who my idol is, I'm going to probably tell you it's my dad. I'll tell you right now, he's by far the person who can do the most with the least. The guy can do anything that there is on these cars, and has taught me so much throughout my life from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I never worked with other teams growing up, this and that. We always did everything ourselves, and I feel like I'm the racer that I am right now because he didn't miss a detail with me growing up. I mean, he was able to do everything on the car, so I knew how to put a clutch in. I knew how to rebuild an engine. I knew how to do everything. So that being said, when you have that type of knowledge in regards to every aspect of the car, you know what's going on. You have a leg up on the guy next to you who does not. And just my dad is somebody who can do more with less. And I have a ton of respect and admiration for him for that. Part two of that question was, what legacy do I want to have? I'm the most competitive person at the racetrack. I want to be the best that there was to do it, but that there's a long road for that. And but if you're not shooting for that, then I don't know. What are you doing?
Folks, if you go to a PDRA race or you do see the Pluchinos at an NHRA race, if you want to see about what he is talking about with his dad and doing more with less, go look at their trailer. That is the most efficiently laid out, packed, stacked, operating trailer I have ever seen in my life. And they are getting it done, not no big stacker. It's a good sized trailer, but it's not no big stacker with tractor trailer. They're getting it done in a gooseneck, basically. That is the most efficient laid out trailer I've ever seen in my life. Outstanding. And man, look, on the legacy thing, I know you want to have to your resume at the end of your career the first to the threes.
Yeah, how could you not? I mean, I'm racing a class where there's only one person to ever go 3 seconds first, right? So that we don't have much time left for that. That's happening. I would say the JR car, Frank Gugliotta clan is really close on that border, but we got to get there first. And I really got to tell you, I hope no matter who does it, I hope it comes down to two guys doing it at the same exact time, and whoever leaves the starting line first and turns that light on first, I hope they get it. And that would make for some pretty cool stories.
It definitely would. And like you said, it's not too far off. I mean, the sport is evolving. Things are growing. People are changing setups and finding new setups at work all the time. So, you said it, your dad can try and do this and that, and the help with strut masters and the help with this. Is there any new plans for, this upcoming season that's rapidly approaching? Or like you said, you're cleaning things, changing a few things, and going to go out there and whoop ass again?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, man. We're trying not to mess with too much. I mean, feel like we're a group who kind of nickel and dimes as we go. Every race we kind of learn a little bit more. We kind of pick away at things, not make too many drastic changes. We have a lot of confidence in the parts and pieces that we have on our car. We feel like it's the best out there, and we go out there and we race smart. Not every run we made last year we had. We were trying to set the world on fire, but we were trying to beat the car next to us. And whether that meant letting the clutch out first or outrunning the guy, or, there's times we qualified in the pole. There's times that we won on a hole shot. It doesn't matter. We need to get to there at the end of the race first. That's what we need to do. And that's our job. And that's what we're here to do.
So, Johnny, with competition in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, Extreme Pro Stock, PDRA, you want to get to the threes first. You want to have that one on your door still. You need partners to do that. You've got strut masters on board, but I have seen on your own social media that there are some other spots for partners. So talk to us about it. Sell it. Give the pitch right here on Competition Plus Power Hour of joining Pluchino Racing and being on the fender and being on the corner panel of that Mustang in mountain motocross stock competition.
Yeah, it's more than just a sticker on our car. We partner up with whoever we get involved in. We want to know a little bit about your business and how we can help you. Maybe your business wants to just have a day for some employees at the racetrack, and they want to come out and enjoy an event, and we can do something like that, where we set up some sort of hospitality tent for you, and they come out and everyone gets a T-shirt, and we enjoy some racing together. You want to bring some products to the races that you feel it's a good market for you. There's a lot of different things that we can do. What's nice about us is, again, we're somewhat of a small team, but I feel like we have a pretty decent spotlight on us. So you're able to get involved with our team and get a pretty good spotlight shined on your product, your company, for a really reasonable deal, right? So at the end of the day, we want to do whatever we can. We understand that you're investing in getting a return, and that's what we're here to do. We're not here to slap a sticker on our car and go, cash your check and call it a day. We understand that this partnership's more than that, and we appreciate anybody who has worked with us, whether it's Strutmasters, who's been, I can't even explain. I can't say nice enough things about that company and Chip and everybody involved there. But there's tons of other people who have helped us as well get to where we're at. John Cossie Racing Engines, Ram Clutches, Hoosier Tire, Book Racing Carburetors, Voss Wheelie Bars, Precision Racing Suspension, Jerry House Race Cars, Lenco Transmissions, NGK Spark Plugs. Everybody that helps us out, it's such a team deal, whether it's parts, it's support. Anything that they do for us has gotten us to the next level. And when you're talking about thousands of a second on every run, all of these people come together with me, my dad, my crew. And it's such a team deal. I can't explain it. Every sport you see, win a World Series or a Super Bowl, you see all 20 something people. And in racing, unfortunately, you only see usually that one person, but there's 20 plus people behind that trophy. And that's something that's missed. And I don't want anyone who's involved with us to miss that. And just want everyone to know how much I appreciate it.
And by the way, when you win with the Pluchinos, you get to enjoy color matching beer with the car.
We wouldn't have it any other way. You have to have some sort of orange label on your beer. Little shock top don't hurt.
Nah, pass on the beer. Give me the liquor. No, man. I mean, you've done it. You're doing it. I mean, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing what happens this year, right? And like you said, I mean, anyone that's listening, if you guys want to join a winning team, a family atmosphere. I mean, from all the videos I've seen, and then even talking with you, it's always upbeat, energized and everything like that. So you guys want to be a part of a family? What?
Sam, look,
what? Quiet. I'm talking.
Look, no, I appreciate the upbeat part, but dude, it's a family atmosphere because of the doggone bickering back and forth between the love of a father and son. It is freaking hilarious. That's what you get. It's a show within a show.
It is. I mean, but hey, don't ruin everything, because then all the media people are going to be going to his pit. So be quiet, okay? Don't tell all the secrets. Gee. Okay. So an upbeat atmosphere. Back to what I was saying. But no, like Lee said, I mean, it is. I mean, Real Pro Stock, like I said, the limo guy, he's put out a bunch of video of you guys talking and chit-chatting in the pits, and it's just outright hilarious. So, we enjoyed, and like I said, I think our biggest thing is to tell your story, for one, get to know you, who you truly are, too, but help you find different sponsorships, because, I mean, honestly, you're knocking on the door of these big dogs, as you keep saying, as everyone has already seen in the comments. You're calling out people, and that's what racing needs. It needs more people and more personalities that aren't afraid to stand up and say, hey, man, look, I'm going to take a shot at the big dog. Hey, if I get knocked down, guess what? I'm coming back to do it again. And you and other people like yourself, I mean, that's what gravitates more people to it, because you're just being who you truly are. So, or Lee rudely interrupted and said, man.
He saw he got an inside look. He's ratting us out.
Yeah, I'm ratting them out. Do not ask them about motel towels.
Oh God, you might as well tell us now. We want to know.
I don't think I can.
Hey, folks, when you get your PDRA ticket, find the Pluchino pits, find Johnny, and say, "Tell me about Motel Towels," as Monday Morning Racer mentioned. Yeah, you can ask him; he can tell you then.
I'll tell you at the track.
Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
Until
Can't
then,
get in trouble if you do that.
Until then, that's right.
What do you got
Johnny.
for us? You got any questions for us, Johnny? Feed us some questions. We know you got the dirt, so let us know. Let us know what's on the mind.
questions for you?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Look, what races are you going to be at?
Well, let's see. Lee's going upcoming races. Lee's going to Funny Car Chaos this week. I'm going to be in Vegas. After that, I've got a list of races I'm going to be at.
Vegas.
What races of mine? What are you hitting some PDRA events this year? Hitting some PDRLs, NHRAs?
I'm trying to get them there.
Okay.
I am. I don't know which ones yet. I'm still trying to figure out my schedule, but I will be there.
Okay.
I will. I promise you. Well, I put my hands up, put one on the Bible, even though you couldn't see underneath. But yeah, I will be at, I'm going to say minimum 3. Minimum.
Okay.
Holding me
John
to it.
Montecalvo wants his one back. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah. Oh, let's bring. Let's see. You know him. We know him as Machine Gun, right? But you know him as BB. BB Gun.
Change him over to BB Gun.
Yeah, he's BB Gun.
Yeah.
He wants his one back. He was the defending champion and had a rough year last year. Talked to him a little bit. Definitely hope that he comes back swinging and there's a good battle between y'all two. I'm hoping for that. I know you want to win, Johnny, and I want to see Strut Masters win. I do. But I want to see a good, tight battle throughout the year, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Look, good competition makes for some good racing. I want good racing at the end of the day. I just want to be on the winning side of it.
Gotcha. Hey, Sam, we got the boss man on ready to come in, okay? So
we're probably getting fired from all the stuff that we've said today.
We've set too much up tonight. So look, Johnny, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna let you go, and we're gonna bring the boss man in, okay?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Johnny.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, man. Thank you. And here we go with a break. We're going to do Competition Plus apparel again.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
Sorry, just saw that private chat. Yeah.
I just want to know, guys, what's the over and under for the number of F-bombs dropped at the family reunions? What do you think? Are we talking about a minute? We talking about an hour?
Well, let me put it this way. Here's another one. If you are at a PDRA race, go by the Pluchino pit. Find John, not Johnny, find John Pluchino and look on the car and find FTG and ask him what it means. That's all I'm saying.
Free to go. I don't know.
I can't go there. But FTG.
I'm gonna say that's a fun atmosphere around Christmas time, Thanksgiving.
F this guy. No, that start with an E, right? So, guys,
Who knows
I'm telling you, man, what a week it's been, man. What a week it has been.
I mean, Bobby, look, Competition Plus team has been covering it all in the world of drag racing. What's the top story for you? What is the one that is just out there like, man, drag racing?
Kid was playing softball, so I didn't get to see the first part of the show. And I have to wonder, I mean, did we talk about the possible new markets the NHRA can be headed to?
We did cover that to some extent, but man, give your thoughts on it. You've been doing this for a long time. Where would you like to see drag racing go potentially for the NHRA?
Well, I definitely would love to see the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area there. I mean, or Palm Beach area. I know that's
But
a full IHRA track, but at one time Atlanta was.
Does Florida need more racing?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You got one to open the season, one to close the season. I mean, if California don't want to play right, then, well, we'll just sell them to Mexico and move on. How about that?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Sold to Mexico. Sold to Mexico.
Jeez.
And honestly, I think sanctioning bodies, I do not mean just of the motorsports variety, but of stick and ball sports too. If these states are not going to play ball, so to speak, they'll find somewhere to play. It's going to happen. They're going to move.
Well, you know, and when I was from time to time on Joe Costello's show, WFO Radio, he always had me on for a segment called Bringing the Heat because I played baseball and everything. I was never a pitcher because I didn't have the right mentality to be a pitcher. If you piss me off, I'm hitting you in the shoulder or the ribs with the ball. Okay, so I was better served being a first baseman and just running over catchers. So anyway, let's bring the heat for a moment. All right? Look, I sign the checks. I pay the bills here. I don't care. You know, I'm going to tell it as I see it. And number one, why are two of the most automotive oriented groups located in a state that absolutely hates automobiles?
Right.
Why is the NHRA in California when California couldn't give a rip what they are? Same way with SEMA. You know? Yeah, it might have been the hotbed of racing at one time. But guess what? I also used to be 5'10", 185 pounds and bench press over 300 pounds too. I ain't that way now.
Right. You know, the NHRA.
Agree with that Amish boy.
Well, right. Well, I mean, hey, we're all there. We're all there. Hey, I mean, I'm the one that's more suited for Nitro Harley because I can use my body weight. So
I'm sorry, Amish out there. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Amish man.
Hey, look,
this new segment, I'm kind of liking this.
The NHRA is in a quagmire, man. You've got its roots is in Southern California. You've got the museum out there. The Fairplex is in trouble on more fronts than just anything COVID.
I got news for you. You can pack your crap up and move away from anywhere if you want to.
They can. Look,
and I guarantee you places like Indianapolis, Indiana, North Carolina, Charlotte, I don't know about North Carolina, South Carolina, you know, because we're the ones with culture down here. But anyway, you know, I'm just sure Sam, y'all had the same fight between North and South Dakota, right?
No,
or y'all just don't get a rip.
Yeah,
we're in the Dakotas.
It's not like that with the Carolinas. The Carolinas are like, do not call us the Carolinas. It is South Carolina and North Carolina.
That's right.
It's like that.
That's right.
I say move it to Texas.
Everything, Texas.
Hey.
You might as well. Why not?
The point is you want to be in a place that appreciates what you're doing. Why does SEMA have to always go and fight for regulations for an industry? Look, I'm sure SEMA gives California a lot of tax money or whatever. The whole industry does. I got news for you. If I'm giving somebody money and they treat me like crap, I'm out of there, dude. I'm out of there. So that's my big beef right now. The car culture, if they don't want it in California, bring it out here. We want it plenty.
Right.
Yeah?
Right. Go play where you're appreciated. Take your ball and go to the field that you can play on, and you're not going to have any problems.
Lee, you just said it right there. And you said play where you're appreciated. Isn't that the same thing that Jason Line said a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah. Play where you're appreciated.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't be a victim if you're a volunteer.
Oh, that's true. Eventually, you got to get out of the situation. Yeah, you got to get out of the situation.
You're basically saying, whoop my ass.
Yeah.
And I'll be back later when I got nothing else to do.
Right. Right.
No, I
Yeah,
got
I'm
news for
sure.
you jump on me, I'm out of there after a while. I might fight back for a while, but I can get the hint.
Yeah, I'm sure that the NHRA would just be better off if it was not situated there in Southern California. Move it to Indianapolis finally. Move it to I mean, maybe not Charlotte, North Carolina, because then you're conceding to NASCAR in some way or shape or form. But come on, move it though.
Who cares? I mean, NASCAR, whatever. They drive cars that go too slow. They can turn left. Right?
But they've got dirt now. That's kind of cool. Just saying.
They do.
Well, shoot, we used to drag race on dirt, and then we got smart and put asphalt down.
Right.
I mean, so this brings me to my next beef. Why is it every time we put out an article and it says something like, and I'm not even looking at the comments because I don't have my glasses on or whatever, and I appreciate all the readers of Competition Plus. I really do. For 21 years, you guys have been the driving force behind me. Nothing but love. But I got to wonder, though, do some of these people in social media even like drag racing? Do they? I mean, we write a story about NHRA closing Atlanta. Okay, let's face the facts. Look at this.
Yep.
We got 3, but for me right here, which would be heaven for most drag racing fans, I got Commerce 90 miles south of me. I got ZMAX 70 miles north of me. And then I got Bristol about 110 miles northwest of me. And if you look at it, that's a pretty saturated market because you have 2 events in Charlotte, 1 in Atlanta and 1 in Bristol. We take away Atlanta, which wasn't our all-time favorite place to go race. Some of us were that had been going for years and years. It was back in the early days because the track was all up there and everything. But what I'm saying is that the market was saturated bad, but yet it still pulled a lot of people. So I mean, it's like when this happens and we knew it was coming, and then the first comment is, well, there's the NHRA circling the drain. Circling the drain. I've never seen so many people want to see the sanctioning body that gives drag racing legitimacy gone. Let me tell you something, what would happen in a drag racing world without NHRA. Now, look, I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they make good decisions all the time, but I'm not in their shoes, and I'm not privy to all the details that they have when they make their decisions. But the bottom line is they do more right than they do wrong. And if we want to look at what a world without drag racing's premier sanctioning body, NHRA, let's imagine tracks unsanctioned, unable to get their insurance. Yeah, they said, well, we can go off and buy our own insurance, but some might not. You think of all that. You think of the rules and regulations that the NHRA has put forth. Think of the TV. I mean, for goodness sakes, you got same day coverage of races. Those of us in the 70s and 80s, the glory years, sometimes had to wait a month and a half to see a 1-hour condensed version of drag racing, NHRA drag racing. So, we complain if it starts late, and the whole thing. I understand it's about drag racing. Drag racing has passionate fans. I'm one of them, and I used to get pissed off. But the bottom line is that you never realize what you have until it's gone, and we don't want to realize what a world without NHRA would be.
Right. I say it often. The sport of drag racing is going to rise and fall with the NHRA. And if the NHRA were to fold up tomorrow, the sport of drag racing would be set back an entire generation, if not more. It would be. And like you said, Bobby, I don't think enough people realize that the NHRA is more than Top Fuel and Funny Car. It acts as, the insurance provider, rules provider, sanction. It gives a blanket to these tracks that probably could not operate if the NHRA did not exist. And it's well beyond the pro classes, well beyond.
It also gives these teams an opportunity to sell sponsorship. Without the NHRA and without the national events, without the television, what are these teams going to sell? Oh, well, we filled up Podunk Dragway with 4,000 fans. Whoop-de-doo. That's just being honest.
You have you guys, we have a great comment here right here from John that says, unfortunately, they have outpriced the typical family to seeing a race that breeds bad press, but the NHRA needs to stay and get stronger. I agree. And that goes back to and this goes to another comment with these big bracket races and everything. We're outpricing just not even the fans, but even some of these smaller racing teams and these smaller, guys and girls that want to get into the races. I mean,
I think I heard the racers take responsibility, Sam. At what point did we need a whole caravan of 18-wheelers and toter homes and quadruple stacker trailers? At what point did we need all of that?
And I say the same thing. I'm not disagreeing with you. I say the same thing to my local guys. When I have people on my podcast in the group, you see some guys that show up, like myself, motorhome and an enclosed car trailer. Now you've got guys with 2 and 3 cars, 2 cars up top and 1 on the bottom. And you're like, guys, you only can drive 1 car. You only need so many tools. But yes, we've outpriced everyone. Can we blame the racers? Yes. Yes, we totally can. Can we blame the teams? Yes, we totally can. But at the same time, have we put it in that mindset like, yes, we need to have everything that from our shop in our trailers right then and there for the convenience of it. Something happens, we have everything. So yes, have times evolved? They have. Have things, gone on and on? Yes, they have. But at what point now we're coming out and saying this? I mean, this is the first time for the hotspot or whatever we're going to call this little segment here that we can actually truly voice our opinions and say, hey, we've gone too far, but how at this point do we stop it and say, guys, let's reel it back. We want you guys to show up with 1 car and not $50 million worth of tools. I mean, we can't do that at this point. The only thing we can do is try and bring it, slowly back and make it affordable for the next person, for, the next generation to get into these cars. I think that's the only way to do it.
Let's say this, and a reader brought up the point about NHRA killing Top Fuel and Pro Stock or fuel classes in Pro Stock. Again, what responsibility does a racer have in this? I mean, when we screamed and screamed that we wanted to take drag racing to the next level in 1980, 81, 1982, then we started getting the big sponsorships. Corporate money came into the sport. Okay. And this wasn't just the big multi-car teams. These were the single car teams that brought in sponsorship, like Raymond Beetle brought in, Schlitz Malt Liquor or Old Milwaukee Light. And these corporate came in, then all of a sudden you got the computers, then you got the magnetos, then you got the fuel pumps, then you got the Batmobiles and the wind tunnel, then we got Streamline and Top Fuelers, and all of a sudden we got these cars running fast. Well, guess what? Trends change in advertising, and all of a sudden this person lost a sponsor, this person lost a sponsor, and then all of a sudden we said, oh wow, what? We're not getting good full field. So somebody added on a second car. We got full fields. Now, everybody's saying, well, these multi-car teams are killing drag racing. Well, now Don Schumacher's down to 2 cars. But we didn't realize that Tommy Johnson Jr. and Jack Beckman were racing that wouldn't have been racing otherwise if one of these multi-car teams were in there. Yeah, I know some what appears to be underhanded stuff, but you have to put yourself in the position if you are running your drag racing as a business. When you have no skin in the game, you can have all kinds of ideas and opinions. But when you got skin in the game, then you have to look out for what's best for your skin. So think about it, guys. Think about it. Did we really need all the overpriced shocks and suspensions and all this stuff? The racers bear as much of a responsibility as a sanctioning body, which if they would have said, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, what's the first thing that gets said? What's the first thing that gets said, fellas? When you say, no, you can't do that. Oh, you're squelching innovation. You're killing the innovation in the sport. Okay, so you let them do it. You let them have the setback blowers. You let them have this. You let them have that. And then all of a sudden, each time the price goes up, then you said, well, you let it get out of control. And it's just like, what can you do?
Well, we do know that the NHRA can move. They can at least do that.
Yeah, they can move.
Yeah. They can move. They can move. They might not be able to do everything. They might not be able to do everything, but they can move. Maybe, and definitely that might need to happen. And getting some liberty outside of California, maybe that gives a whole brand new level to the NHRA, a new future.
Guys, I'm just so happy to be a part of you, my Amish guy and my fella here. Yeah, what's your name again?
22. 22.
Who am I pointing to?
Man.
Oh, yeah. I'm pointing to the non-Amish guy.
Right.
Let's just realize one thing here. And I'm very thankful for this sport, and I'm thankful for drag racing, because a year ago I was laying in a hospital bed not knowing if I was going to live or die. Puts it all in perspective. So when the NHRA brought back, I think we all failed to realize the NHRA's business model was just demolished by this pandemic.
Right.
I mean, it was just wiped out. So what do you do when your business model is wiped out?
Yep.
It's like, we had to reinvent a portion of drag racing. Yeah, the purses had to get cut because you had no fans to help pay that purse. And whether we want to acknowledge it or not, even though the title is not for profit, for the NHRA to stay around, there's got to be a profit. And at this time, it's one of the reasons I've probably only flown like maybe 4 or 5 times since I came down with the COVID, because I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. And there's a bit of a fear factor still, even to this day, of that. But I had to be at that first race that when the NHRA rolled out in Indianapolis. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't perfect, but I don't know of anybody that could have done a better job than those guys did rolling out this drag racing. And we got to see our sport come back again. And this is the most crippling thing I think NHRA drag racing has ever faced. Now, they went through before you guys were even born, we had an energy crisis back in 74, 75. That was, you got only so much gasoline. And these teams would put like extra gas tanks in there so they could go to the races. Otherwise, you weren't racing.
Mm-hmm.
And the sport survived that.
Mm-hmm.
It survived downturns in the economy. It still did that. And the fact that we were able to run 16-car fields, thanks to the cooperation of the drag racers and the sanctioning body trying to find. It was not an ideal situation, but what was? What was an ideal situation?
Yep.
I can honestly say, yeah, I believe that the NHRA did, the best that they could do, and they succeeded with rolling back after, we got word, hey, we can go back racing. We're going to roll back out. I think what they were given and the opportunity that we were given, I mean, they said, hey, this is what we got to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep it in Indy for a while until we know we have a handle on this. And now, hey, we're going to slowly release it and do what they did. And I mean, if anyone says, oh, yeah, the asterisks, and I've said it too, this season's going to be different. It's going to hit a little different than anything else. It will. It'll always have its own mark, with sponsorships and anything else like that, with how many races. It's always going to be different. People are going to look back years from now and say, yeah, that 2020 race season was a little bit different, but still, you still crowned a champion. You were still allowed to do that. You were still allowed to, eventually slowly release and have fans in there. So we can bitch, we can gripe, but guess what? We have racing in 2021. I think that's a positive. I mean, we're going to keep growing and keep moving from there. So, I mean, I think there's a lot to say. There's a lot that we can, be mad about, be upset about. Lee and I started the show a little pissed off. Then Bobby comes in and throws the curveball in the 9th inning, to set the world on fire with the hot seat, the new.
Well, I just took your ass into the upper decks. What I did there, buddy, all the way up into the upper deck.
But I think at this point, I think what we all need to do, racers, race fans, everybody, is appreciate that we can go and watch a couple of events. And if you can make it, get out there. Show your face, show your support. Like we said, show your support for the sponsors, Camping World. I mean, I think I'm going to say this right now. Yeti, you need to be out there. We want Yeti coolers and Yeti cups. REI, get out there. We flood the market now. If we're going to go camping in 2021 race season, I want everyone. I want everyone out there wearing Columbia jackets and, I'm trying to think of my hunting shoes. Danner Boots needs to be the official Camping World sponsor of all the shoes for the crew teams. I mean, Kuyu, I don't know.
You haven't said the best one yet.
Who?
Tannerite.
Hey, no, because I can see it now.
We have some guys that have Tannerite in their cars.
Bobby's going to end up getting mad, and for the finals, he's going to have Tannerite sitting by the scoreboard. So no. But hey, if that's what we got to do,
perfect funny car sponsor. Perfect funny car sponsor.
There you go. Fast Pro.
Let's take inventory of Gainesville. Okay, let's take inventory of Gainesville. Huge television audience, and NHRA is back up. I would say, from what I've been told, they were at about 75% capacity, and the grandstands looked healthy. Back in the days in the Diamond P, when the grandstands all looked full, it was like me when I was younger, wearing a large T-shirt. Okay, I looked all buffed up and muscle bound. I looked really, really good. Well, as I got older, now I'm in a 2X. Okay, even though I'm coming back down the other way again. But the whole thing is when the sport grew, we expanded, we built the facilities bigger and better.
Right.
And yes, I mean, you probably could have said about 4 or 5 of the old Gainesville grandstands,
right,
in the Chicagoland races.
Right.
I mean,
look,
the stands, yeah.
Humpy Wheeler, the great promoter at Charlotte Motor Speedway, regularly said he didn't want to sell out because that meant he didn't have another ticket to sell. You want you want to have more room. And when you look back at the, like, I've heard people, oh, I can remember full crowds at Pomona, and Pomona had these hinky dinky little fairground stands compared to what they have now. It's like, yeah, historical context, people, come on.
If you're not stoked over what we had at Gainesville with the grandstands and the television audience, then you need to find another sport. This probably is not the sport for you.
Dude, it felt awesome. I'm walking around the pits, and I'm like, man, this is like a national event. And a lot of the drivers I talked to,
that's
because
like, it was.
I mean, they're like, man, it was great. It was great to have fans back and look up in the stands and have that energy. I was there for that first, Indy. It felt like this strange, large test session. It was just weird.
I've got a question for both of you guys.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I got an honest question for you guys, though.
I think it was the fear of the unknown. We didn't know what to expect. I mean, it's like the pandemic caught drag racing so off guard. I mean, it was not. Dude, I'm in my Camaro driving down there ready for the Gainesville race. Roger says, "Boss man, turn around and go back home." They postponed the event. And, and I said, this is nothing but a hoax. They're just overreacting. God, they need to get over this. And then the hoax hit me the next day and changed my life, and from that point, just trying to struggle to become a normal human being again. And then watching what you so poured your heart and soul into building, just being knocked out from under us. I mean, guys like Todd Smith, who was on a ventilator, that we didn't know if he was going to make it or not. Jock from Steve Johnson, all of us comparing notes. And then it came to the reality is, do we want this to be our new normal, not ever doing what we loved, or do we have to finally step out and face this monster and start building? And I'm telling you, hate me, call me an NHRA apologist or whatever, but I'm keeping it real. They brought this sport back. Yeah. Was it perfect? It wasn't perfect. Is it going to be perfect? But I think what we're going to see is a different drag racing that is totally different. Just like, and I think, and I really honestly believe the NHRA got settled into their ways. And they got comfortable. Well, one thing we've learned being in the internet magazine industry is don't get too comfortable. Wait around. 2 months later, the whole market will change on you and you'll have to start all over again. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening with our world, not just drag racing.
All right. So my final question here is, we had about 2 million people watching on TV. I get it. A lot of people still don't want to come out. People still don't want to do that. But how do we get back to that day where we can say, damn, there's no more room. Damn, we are almost, how do we get more people to the races? And not just the same people that are buying tickets, and following around. How do we get new people? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe is it a suggestion this year where we say, hey, you've been to 2 races. We've got 15,000 people that, are trying to get tickets this is their first or second race. Maybe we get them tickets to get in. Do we do something like that to draw in those new fans, or are we pretty much settled in our ways and stuck and that's just the way it's going to be?
It's a different world that we live in. You remember that movie Draft Day? Well, we're living in a different world than we were 5 minutes ago, So it's like this. And I always, and people say, well, what if we're trying to pinpoint when drag racing changed for the younger audience is the day we replaced the Hot Wheels cars with Skeletor, He-Man, and the action figures and the video games. When we took away kids that could ride their bicycles all over the neighborhood. I tell my granddaughter all the time, I am so sorry that you didn't grow up in the generation that I grew up in, that you can't ride your bicycle to the end of the street, much less walk to the end of the street. It's a different world. It's an all different world. And there's nothing pushing our younger audience into the automotive world. Not as long as they got that drug in their hand called a cell phone. You know, and then you got guys out here like the street outlaws. God bless them. They're bringing attention to drag racing. Is that what we want it to be? No. But at least people are paying attention. I've always said that if drag racing could harness the personalities in the sport, like the John Force, the Tim Wilkersons, you know, and J.R. Todd's and Sean Langdon's and some of these others, Alexis DeJoria, if we could just channel them in a reality show, we have a big chance of drawing that audience that we want and that we seek and that we so badly long for. Is that, I mean, remember the Driving Force? That was an excellent show. It was an excellent show, and it drew a lot of attention. Oh, yeah, that's that dad that races with his daughters. Heck, I used to even watch Lizard Lick Towing. You know? It was all staged. Every bit of this was staged. But yet, if we had something like that, I mean, even to the point where we had the Justin Ashley Fix Flip Fuel series that we used to do. I mean, you think about it. Here's a young kid that's a successful real estate developer and drives a 330 mile per hour top fuel dragster. That's the kind of stories that we need more of out there. But then you've got like Justin Ashley, and we need to find a way to get Jordan Vandergrift back out here. You know, Daniel Wilkerson. We need that younger audience, and the best way to do it is to go to where they're at through social media. I know no other way. I mean, let's just say this. Not one of my kids, which I wonder if they're actually my kids, like drag racing. You want to go to the drag races with Grandpa? Nah. You want Grandpa to buy you a junior dragster? Nah, but there's a new Easton bat I'd like. I mean, can you imagine being my kid and wanting to run junior dragster? Yeah.
Hey, and know one thing, you get all the stories in the magazine. Just saying, you know, hey.
Yeah.
You'd have a feature article every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're not reaching the younger audience, and fellas, I ain't getting any younger. You're the next generation of me out here. I've already got 40-something years in this sport, 41 years, and I'm only 53. Where's the next Bobby Bennett? Where's the next Amish guy? Where's the next that other guy?
Right. Well, something that, you know, race fans, it's interesting to me that oftentimes we will gripe and complain, and yet we still buy a ticket to the event and go to the race. Well, look, instead of griping and complaining in front of everybody, why don't you buy a ticket for someone and take them to a race if they've never experienced that? And I've done that. I can remember when I was in high school, and, you know, I'm going to end with this. Atlanta Dragway is extremely special to me, and it's going to be sad to see it go. But if it opens up other markets and takes the sport forward, I can live with that. I've been going to Atlanta Dragway since I was in diapers. I was introduced to drag racing there. I have drag raced myself on that track in junior dragsters. This year, I'll be on the line, hopefully, with Top Fuel and kind of cornerstone it. But I can remember when I was in high school, I was able to drive. I would take people We would go Friday qualifying. We wouldn't go to school. I'd take friends. I'd buy their ticket and introduce them to drag racing. And they became drag racing fans because I took them to the track. I put them in front of a top fueler, and they started crying and bawling because of nitro. And, well, there were still throttle whacks at the time, a bunch of them, and they got their whack. Look, stop griping and start buying a ticket for someone brand new. That's something you can do.
Can't
Just
disagree
like we
with
tell them
that.
in hockey. Just like we tell them in hockey. There's 3 things that you can do. I ref hockey, right? So we tell when fans get pissed off or whatever now, I say there's 3 things you can do. You're being a fan right now, but you can be a coach or you can be a ref. You chose what you wanted to do. I chose to be a fan and be involved with racing in the media side. I'm still a fan, so now I'm doing 2 parts. Let me help you do yours. Come with me. Be a part of this, and together we're going to grow. And that's what Competition Plus is about. That's what Lee does on his show. That's what I do on my show, and we're going to continue to yak it up. We brought the boss man on here this episode. Unfortunately, Alexa couldn't join us again tonight, but hey, we brought Bobby on. He gave us the scoop, the real, the raw emotions that everybody wanted to hear. I mean, everybody's saying it. Hell yeah, Bobby. You say it, you preach it, and they appreciate it. They get to see that side of you, and that's what we want to do here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Bobby, as we let you go, what would be your final words for tonight?
Be appreciative for what you have, because you won't appreciate it. You shouldn't have to lose something to appreciate what you had. Drag racing is the greatest sport in the world. I love it just like you love it. Just like the tens of thousands of readers that read Competition Plus daily to get their fix. This is a great sport. It's not perfect, never going to be perfect, but it's still, even on a bad day, it's still better than most.
And like I said, I mean, that is how we all feel here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. It's been another great episode. I mean, we talked the dirt, we talked the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, Johnny Pluchino came on, dropped knowledge on us, called out some racers. We got big events, a lot of chaos happening in Texas. This weekend, you need to, if you haven't got your Flow Racing, go ahead and get that. If you can't make it to the track, please. Flow Racing, watch Funny Car Chaos. If you're in the Vegas area, you need to be at the Spring Fling. Support those people. Support your NHRA. And again, the Monday Morning Racer, his show drops on Thursday. I will be co-hosting that, or kind of being the head coach. So please check out everything Monday Morning Racers got going on. Slam and Sam, Outlaw Performance, ENT. Again, another great episode of the Competition Plus Power Hour on all your major podcast forums. Thanks again to everyone that's out there. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we will see you next week here, where we can yak it up on everything racing on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Signing out again. Peace.